Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Sewing with Sierra. Today we are going to do some alterations and some repairs. First off, we're starting with these pants that need a hem. They are pinned to the length they need to be, so we're just going to measure and see how much we need to take off. These pants are about 2 inches too long. We need about an inch of seam allowance, so if they are 2 inches too long, we're only going to cut off 1 inch of length. I'm going to use my fabric pencil to mark 1 inch from the bottom of the pants. Once we have that marked, we're going to go ahead and cut along that line. Once that leg is done, we're just going to do the same exact thing to the other leg. Once both legs are cut, we're going to turn those pants inside out. To pin the pant hem into place, we're going to fold over in 1/2 inch one time and then one more time again. This way you can't see the raw edge and it gives it a nice clean finished look. We're just going to do that all the way around and pin everything into place. Whenever I'm hemming pants and there's a bulky seam, I like to clip it about 1/2 inch from the top so I can flip that to the other side, and when I fold over, it's a lot smoother than having that bulky seam flipped over twice. Once I'm done pinning one leg, I'm just going to do the exact same thing to the other leg. After those are done, it's just time to start sewing everything into place. I'm going to sew one straight line very close to that folded edge. Whenever you're done, it should look a little something like this. Next, we're just going to sew the next leg. Once they're done, we're just going to give the hem a press with the iron, just make sure everything lays nice and flat. Flip it right side out, and that completes our pant hem. Next up, we have this cute patterned shirt with a small hole in the collar. We're just going to start tucking that shirt back into that collar binding and pinning it in place. I actually found that it was a little bit easier to use my long tweezers to stick that fabric back in that collar binding. Once it's secured and pinned into place, we can bring it over to the sewing machine and start sewing. We're just going to sew one straight line on that folded edge to close that hole up. You might need to make sure nothing comes untucked from that binding while you're doing this. here we are all mended and we're looking good as new. Next up, we have another shirt repair. This shirt actually has a hole in the arm seam. First, I'm going to flip the shirt inside out so I can take a look at that seam. Luckily, the fabric tore apart at the seam, so we are going to be able to just pin that back into place and sew over it. Once it's pinned, we're just going to take it over to the sewing machine and sew one straight line right where that original seam was. And once that's done, as you can see, no more hole. Last thing we're going to do is just finish off that edge so it blends nice into all the rest of the seam. On my machine, I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch to finish off that edge. See how that looks completed here, and that arm seam is nice and secure and no more hole. Now we're just going to turn it right side out and this shirt is all done. Last but certainly not least, we're going to repair a button on this really awesome shell printed shirt, and I am extremely lucky I found a button to match all the rest. First, I need to thread a needle in some white thread, as you can see here. Then I'm going to mark where the button needs to go, so I'm just going to close the shirt as if it is buttoned and mark in the middle of that buttonhole with a pin. Once I have that, I'm going to sew one stitch to keep my place. Next, I'm going to grab my button and thread my needle through the buttonholes. Next, I'm going to stick my needle through that first stitch that I did to secure it. After that, I'm just going to go back through the button and do some more stitches to secure the button even more. I like to loop it through about 5 times. You can do as little as 4 or as really much as you'd like. I wouldn't go any more than 8 stitches, but after that is done, I'm going to wrap my thread around the button and stick my needle through those looped knots a few times just to make sure that that's not going to break, and then I finish my thread off through the middle of the fabric to kind of hide the end of that thread. Once that's done, I'm just going to clip it and you are all set to go. Thanks so much for following along my alterations and mending project. See y'all next time.